Dave Palumbo here, and Olympia week is upon us, and just because of that, I'm going to offer you a very special deal at speciesnutrition.com. 30% off the entire website. That's right, 30% off the entire website. Just use coupon code Olympia30 for this special Olympia week from now through Saturday night at 11:59 p.m. That's right, 30% off speciesnutrition.com just because it's Olympia week. Guys, enjoy the broadcast and check out the specials at speciesnutrition.com. 30% off. Use Olympia30. Free shipping on orders over $100.
Old School Bodybuilding Clothing Company and Species Nutrition present RX Muscle's Olympia weekend coverage. For those that lose their mind if they haven't eaten any protein in 3.5 hours, OSBBC.com for the hardest training athletes.
Olympia weekend, day 2, prejudging, just letting out Classic Physique, Bikini, and Men's Physique alongside John Hansen. I'm Siddique Farooqi. Classic Physique, John, yet again, absolutely delivering, especially at that elite crust. Chris Bumstead, Breon Ansley, the matchup he came here to see. How did you see it?
Yeah, it's such a great rivalry, these two, right? I mean, Breon won twice, Chris won last year, and now the rematch again. I think Chris is going to pull it off again. He seemed like he improved from last year. Last year, Breon had him in the back shots. And this year, Chris really brought his back up. And he brought all his strong points, that great vacuum. And, of course, he's got the structure. He's taller, he's wider, and he's really playing on that. He's got the great leg development. So, yeah, I mean, they both brought it. I mean, this is a great rivalry. These guys are really, really close. But I think Chris is going to pull it off again.
Yeah, again, we talked about this for weeks and weeks leading into Olympia weekend, John. This is by far the best rivalry in all of bodybuilding right now.
Yeah.
Obviously, as you mentioned, Breon winning the first 2 times, Chris Bumstead coming back. It seems as if in the last 3 years, obviously, you've had Chris Bumstead, you've had Breon Ansley, you've also had George Peterson move up into the 212. But when you look at the quality of Classic Physique in general, the field in general, and then you look at that upper elite crust with the Bumsteads and the Breons, it's truly something special that we're witnessing.
Yeah, it really is. It harkens back to the old days, you know, when you had like Arnold and Sergio, or you had the different rivalries. So it's really, really cool to see these two really motivating each other. You know, they're motivating each other to be the best they can be, and that's what great rivalries do. They bring out the best in people. And I know Breon really wants that title back, and that's why he trained hard all year for it, and Chris wants to retain it. So this is a great rivalry. It's great for the sport. It's great to see.
Yeah, those, obviously, them two, it's been a back-and-forth rivalry. They've had their fun on social media, but you could tell on stage, as much as there was that stage game taking place, especially in the back shots, there was a moment, a cool moment, where them two kind of did a little fist bump to show, hey, there is respect. They're having fun out there. That is, again, it's just emblematic of the kind of rivalry. It's a respectful rivalry, but again, them two absolutely fierce in what they brought, especially when they're paired up in the middle.
Yeah, I mean, I think they both absolutely respect each other. You know, they have different kinds of physiques, so they're not really competing on the same level. They're just trying to play off their strengths. And Chris played off his strengths, Breon's playing off his strengths. And it's great to see because, and then I think they did hug at the end, you know, when they went in the back after they let those two guys go back. So that was very, very cool.
Last year, during the press conference, Chris Bumstead said that he wanted to bring something truly classic. And then afterwards, after he won, we discussed exactly that concept.
Right.
And he said, yes, I feel as if I delivered a truly classic package. Talk about some of the improvements that you feel he made that really shined here in prejudging.
Well, like I said, his back. I think his back was his weak point last year. He didn't have the thickness that Breon had, and he definitely brought that up. Not sure what it was. I was looking at his back. I think maybe it's a little bit wider, a little bit thicker on the lower lats. So he could stand with Breon now. He didn't get outclassed in those back shots. And then he played off his strengths, which are his great legs. He's got really good leg development, really good separation and size. And he's got that great vacuum shot. I noticed his ab shot was not the best, and Breon might have had him best on the abs. But he hit the abs for a second, then he pulled the vacuum. You know, so he's playing off his strengths there. And then, like I said, his great strength is his height and his width. He's got that structure, and he's playing off that. And he's got the mustache. He's got that 70s
Yes,
mustache.
yes.
Look a little bit like Roger Callard, who was a great bodybuilder from the 70s, you know. So he's playing off of that with the classic look too.
It was funny because during the press conference this Olympia weekend, Bob Chigarolo specifically asked him about the mustache, and his response was, "It's thicker this year." Breon Ansley, I know you as a bodybuilding historian have a real appreciation for the physique that he looks to bring every time. It is a more throwback, old school look. What did you see out of Breon Ansley today?
He's very thick, and he was in condition, and I know he's been training hard for this all year. I've been following him on social media, and you could see in the off-season, even in his off-season condition, he was taking pictures with his shirt off. I mean, this guy was focused all year, you know, and I think he was focused ever since the last Olympia that we want to take this title back. So he was training hard all year, and I appreciate that. I like a guy who's got that vision, and he's got that hunger, and he's going to train all year for this title. And it's a shame that one of them has to lose, you know, because they both put so much into it. And I think he was thicker overall, and he was still in condition. You could tell he worked on his posing. He wasn't crunching down on his abs when he did a front double like he used to. He was pulling it up and did the vacuum, and he was trying to match Chris on that. So they're both great physiques.
Well, let me introduce this angle to you because Dave Palumbo was talking to Breon Ansley a couple of weeks before the Olympia, and one thing he specifically mentioned was the weight cap.
Yeah.
And he said that should the weight cap not move, that he may entertain leaving the division altogether. When you look at what you saw today out of Breon Ansley, do you see any more room for growth, room for improvement under the current structure, or does he need that weight cap to move?
Yeah, I think it would be nice for the weight cap to move because as we saw pictures of him as he was coming down, he was looking really freaky when he had that thickness and size with that great conditioning. And then I think he had to bring it down even a little bit more in order to make that weight cap. So, yeah, it would be nice if they moved that up a little bit because I don't think moving to the 212 would be right for him. He used to compete as 212
right.
before he moved into Classic. So I think he fits more with Classic. But, he's kind of limited because the shorter guys, they can only get to a certain weight where I think Chris probably still has room to grow because he's such a tall competitor. So that is one hindrance for Breon.
Well, over the last 3 years, the top three has been a combination of Chris Bumstead, of Breon Ansley, and George Peterson. George Peterson, of course, moving on into the 212 division. So the question was, John, well, who's going to fill that void? Who is going to join them in that top three? Well, the answer, or so it seems, is Terence Ruffin. Now, Terence Ruffin finishing second at the Arnold Classic earlier this year.
Yeah.
Very impressive. What did you see out of Terence Ruffin here, again, presumably fighting for that third slot?
Yeah, he was much improved. He did not compete last year in 2019, and I think in 2018, I think he was down like a ninth or something, and people thought he should have been higher. So that year off really led to some improvements, and he took a very close second at the Arnold this year, and I think a lot of people felt, and I think he felt he could have won. So he really stepped into his own this time. He was very happy to be in that first call-out with Chris and Breon, so he looks to be in that third place spot. He's got a really great classic physique, very good aesthetics. He came in condition, as he always does,
right.
And his posing is very good. You notice in the beginning when they had him come out one by one, they had like a 1 minute routine that they could do, no music or anything, and they could do their own thing. And a lot of guys just hit the mandatory poses. He had his own flowing routine, which was very smart. So he developed his own he's going to have two routines. He's got the prejudging routine and the night show routine, which is going to be the music. So that was a very good move because it showed off his artistic ability with his posing, which I think he's one of the best posers in the sport right now in all the categories.
Well, we specifically spoke to him about what his definition of classic physique, and he gave a very artistic answer. He talked about the art of the physique, the art of the posing. And when this division first came out, Terence Ruffin was seen as sort of one of those pioneers of classic physique, not just because of the physique that he brought, but because of the artistry in his routine.
Right. And that's what bodybuilding is, and we've forgotten that a lot. But it really is about not only developing the physique, but displaying the physique. And that's where the artistic part of it comes into. And Terence recognizes that, and he really works on it in his routine. And I think we need someone like him to lead us more into that direction, to inspire more bodybuilders to do that. And if younger guys coming up get inspired by that, they're going to want to do that too. And there's a whole dynamic to that. I mean, there's so much potential with the posing part of it. And we need people like Terence Ruffin or Santi Aragon. He's another good one. Yeah, right. Those two guys stand out as people who recognize the value and the power of having a great posing routine, because when you can develop a posing routine to music and make it very powerful, it's beautiful, it's artistic, and that's the potential that bodybuilding has. So it's great to see that. And I think we're also going to see Breon do a good routine tonight. Hopefully Chris will do a good routine. They have to have the music inspire them and inspire others with their physique. You know, it's not just displaying the physique, it's bringing it to a new level, and that's what we need more of.
Is it safe to say that the title once again is going to come down to between Bumstead and Breon?
It looks like it, yeah. It looks like it's going to be very close again. And it's hard to beat the returning champ, although Chris did do that, last year. So, and I know Breon wants it back. So we'll see tonight what happens. Hopefully, they've come in really in their best condition, maybe sharpen up a little bit, have a great posing routine. That might make a difference. But yeah, it's very, very tough, very close. So we'll see what happens.
So yet again, Bryan Ansley, Chris Bumstead, arguably the best rivalry in the entire sport, and they did not fail to deliver here in Prejudging. Should be a very, very exciting Classic Physique finals tonight at the Orange County Convention Center. For John Hansen, I'm Siddique Farooqi. We'll see you tonight at the finals.